All right, so here we go. Take a look at the 2 points that are on this line up here. I know we're going to be grading in just a moment, but to be able to grade this correctly, you need to understand this part. Guys, don't talk right now. Okay, so did you already get exchanged? Okay, can you get yours exchanged, please? Thank you. All right, so these 2 points can tell me the slope because it's rise over the run. To get from here to here, how much rise do I have to do? 2. How much run do I have to do? 3. So it's just rise over run, which is rise was 2, run was 3. So the slope of this thing is 2/3. Basically, the steeper it goes, the bigger the number is, and the steeper that the line is. So, for instance, if I had another one that was like this, I could take these 2 dots, any 2 dots that are on it, and say how much did it rise, how much did it run. That one would be rise of 3, run of 3. And so that would be a slightly steeper one of 3/3. By the way, what does 3/3 reduce to? 1. Very good. All right. Yes? Yes, I am. All right. I'm already recording. Thank you. But you can look for the little numbers right there. See? Okay. So this is slope, rise over run. But I'm here to teach you the next level, which is for after this, we're done with this worksheet, we do the next worksheet, which is on taking these 2 points and not even having the picture. We can still get the slope. From these, you always looked at the picture and said, well, how much does it rise and how much does it run? But what we could do is just look at 0, 4, and this point, which is 3, 6, and get the rise over the run from that. So I want you to think this through for a second. Which 2 numbers, 0, 3, or 4 and 6, which ones are doing the rise part? That is not doing that. I get what you're saying. That's the second point, but they aren't doing the rise. The rise is only the y part. Look, these are the y's, the ones I just circled in green. Look, these are the y's. You have to take the bigger one, this one's the 6, minus the smaller one, and go 6 minus 2 over, take a guess what I'm going to do with the x's. Bigger one minus the smaller one, same thing. Instead of 6 minus 4, it's going to be 3 minus 0. That's how you find the slope without even seeing the graph. And that came out to 6 minus 2 is 4 over 3. Okay. So if I go 6 minus 4, 6 minus 4, not 6 minus 2. I was wondering why was that wrong? There we go. 6 minus the 4 is 2 over 3 minus 0 is 3. That's why the slope is 2/3. All right, sorry about that. I missed that number. Now I'm going to show you another one. 2, 5 and 9, 10. Let me show you how easy it is to find the rise over the run. Rise, run. Rise is y's. You get how that rhymes? Okay, so the y's are these 2. Take the bigger minus the smaller. What do you get? That was 10 minus 5 gave me that. And then the run, which is the x's. 9 minus 2, 7, 5/7. There, I pre-taught you the lesson. Now I'm going to teach it to you again in a minute, slightly differently. But that's how you do it without even looking at the graph. You see I didn't even ever graph it? I didn't need to. Take the y's over the x's. Rise is the y's. All right, question? Yes? Yes, you can call this x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, absolutely. And then the official formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm glad you asked. That is the official way you do it. If that's easier for you, to remember it that way? That's awesome. That is the slope formula. Yes, sir. Yes, you. In a moment after we're done grading. Okay, I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, so we're back. I want you to write down these points. 2, 3, and 5, 9. Write down those 2 points. Back with me. Talk later. Write this one down. Have a seat. Kind of. All right. So which one did I say was the rise? The X's or the Y's? Y's or the rise? Say it. Y's or rise? Say it. Y's or rise? All right. I know some of you feel too cool to say that, but if you say it, you will remember it more likely when the test rolls around. So Y's are the rise. So which ones are the Y's? Well, always say the X's first. So in this point, it's X is 2, and Y is 3, and X is 5, and Y is 9. So I hope by now you figured out that the position of these things is always X then Y. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, it's true. And the rise are the Y's. So then we can go 9 minus 3. Notice I start with over here on the right, the second point you have. Over 5 minus 2. Have you got that already? All right. And what did you get? 6 over 2. Close. I think it's 6 over 3. 6 over 3, which is equal to 6 divided by 3. I have 6 cookies, 3 friends. 2. There you go. What did we just find? No, 2 is the answer, but what is it? Number of chickens in Zimbabwe? No, it's not that. What is 2? What is it? What are we finding? It's called the slope. I didn't say that it was cookies or coconuts or the number of chickens in Zimbabwe. It was slope. All right, one more. 9, 10. And this time I'm going to get tricky on you. I'm throwing in a negative. Negative 3, 11. Now, this is why I do want you to show just a little work on your big fraction. You do not have to write the word rise over run, but you do need to write down the 2 numbers that are getting subtracted. I'll pause while you do that. All right, so 11 minus 10 is on top. We've established that. 11 minus the 10. So what's on the bottom? Negative 3 minus 9. We always subtract. There's always a minus in there. So now what we have to do is deal with negative numbers, which gets tricky. Nope, it's the second number. Like this one has to be first. So the second, see how these are the first point, and this is the second point. It's the second point always goes first in your equation. So it's this one, 11 minus the 10, so it's negative 3 minus the 9. Now 11 minus 10 is 1. But what is negative 3 minus 9? Negative 12. Thank you, somebody, for knowing, because this is like 3 negatives going out onto the field. This is like 9 more negatives going out onto the field. They're all on the same team. They just join up, and it's 12 negatives. If one of them had been positive and one had been negative, they would have canceled off. But these are all on the same team. All right. Did anybody have negative 1/12 before I said it? All right. Good job. Now let's give you one more, and it's going to have negatives, and see if you can handle it. Question first. Mm-hmm. Yep. It is kind of like adding. You just got to remember that they're all negative when you're done. You get how we kind of added the 3 and the 9 together? It's because they were the same flavor. They're both the negative team. So then we can put them together and make negative 12. So yeah, it's kind of like adding. All right, on to the next one. Negative 4, 5, goes with 8, comma 12. See if you can handle the rise over the run. The rise over the run. It's the y's over the x's. There's always a minus in there too. I'll pause for a second while you give that a... All right, did you start with 12 minus 5? Then you started right. I'm going to come around and check you. I'll pause for a second while I do that. 8 minus negative 4. So you just plus it. You're absolutely right. You just add them, and you get 12. And so then you were right. Very nice. So this is 7 over 12. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Why would you add them? Because it's a minus minus. When there's a minus minus right next to each other, that means plus. Because it's the opposite of the opposite. Have you ever heard of a double negative? Like, I ain't got no time. Well, it means you actually do have time. When you have two negatives, they cancel each other out, and it means a positive. So that means plus. 8 plus 4 is 12. Who had 7 12s before I even checked them? Awesome. I think you're getting this. So if I give you 2 points, you can find the slope. That's a really important algebra skill. One more down. So graphing, remember that was on the top 20 that I gave you before? Now you got that down by graphing. What was that stupid thing I had you graph? Bugs Bunny? Scooby-Doo, that's right, Scooby-Doo. So we'll look at those some other time. I know there's a fair number of people who are still finishing off because they want the extra credit. If you want to finish off Scooby-Doo and get him done, I will take that for extra credit. Did anybody already do Scooby? Like all the way Scooby? Okay, at least they finished their assignment. Okay, so some people didn't finish. I'm not terribly shocked. All right. So that was about finding the slope from 2 points being given to you. And the official equation is going to look really complicated. But all it really means is subtract the y's over subtract the x's. Oh, thank you. Very good. You're correct. Okay, that's all I got for you for today.